So here's another strange video I didn't think I was going to have to make, but it looks like California has been coughing up some huge studio tax credits, and we've talked about that before. The last few years have been somewhat lucrative for the industry because it could take advantage of those tax benefits from the state of California. And of course, all of those types of things come with some strings attached. You have to, play checkbox hero and stuff like that. We've broken all that down. Yet, even with all these huge incentives that they have out there, no one wants to film in LA anymore. That's kind of funny, huh? Kind of weird? Well, let's get into it. Here we go. Now, before we get started, please go ahead and hit the like button. Let's just start there and double check that you're still subscribed. And if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button down there and then hit the bell button up there so that you don't miss anything. Turn on all the notifications. That way you won't miss a video, you won't miss a live stream, you won't miss a short. And I'm trying to do more shorts, and obviously I do about 7 or 8 live streams a week, so there's a lot to miss if you don't have the notifications on. And with that said, we're going to dive right into this. And it looks like the LA film shooting decline that began, or I should say tailed off in 2019, it looks like it's continuing. It looks like it's fallen another 2.4%. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, that doesn't sound like all that much, Culture. That is not a huge percentage. And you're right, and I can see where you would, think that way. I mean, I would think that way, but you have to look at how they calculate shoot days. That's right. Here's the basics, and I'll break them down. A shoot day is essentially any permitted shoot of any duration within a 24-hour period. So it could be for an hour, or it could be for a whole day, or it could be for multiple days, but each one of those days will be categorized as a shoot day. And now, they're shooting all over the city, or all over the area. They're in the Los Angeles boundary, all at the same time. You could have hundreds of shots in an individual day, hundreds of shoot days in an individual day, because it only takes a cameraman, a photographer, or whatever to count a shoot day. So it's anything that's permitted. So it could be photography, as I mentioned, a student film, a documentary, a music video, doesn't matter. As long as somebody's there shooting on a permit, that's a shoot day. So any crew doing their thing, shoot day. So let's take a closer look. Any kind of film being shot is a shoot day, but what kind of film is being shot is incredibly important because there's more value in the higher quality stuff, film and television, and less value when you get down to student film and, individual photography scenes. So to start with, feature film and television shoot days were down by 9.6%. That's not great, down almost 10%, and those are lucrative. TV pilots, that's even worse news. They collapsed, falling 71.9% overall. Now these are for the year, and you're thinking, how did only 2.4% decline come out of those numbers? Well, the most valuable days, the most valuable kinds of shoots were the ones that were missing here. And don't tell me they did not know that there was an economic downturn coming, and I'm sure they did, as did we here on this channel, but commercial shooting days fell off 22.6%. So they already were pulling back. Ad tech was pulling back. The ad industry was pulling back all throughout 2022. All those different types of shoots are considered high quality. Everything that I just mentioned, at least in the eyes of the industry and specifically in LA film. And again, that's why they're incredibly important. It's money. The only improvement when it comes to any kind of quality shoot, of course, was the reality TV shots. Now those, they didn't fall off at all. In fact, they were up about 5.2%. And that's a good thing, I guess. I mean, who needs more reality TV in their life? I certainly don't. And so where did all the rest of this number come from that made it only a 2.4% decline? Well, of course, those are going to come out of the lower quality shoots. And that had an increase of 22.9%. So again, why are they called lower quality? They have much less impact on the economy. They're not really going to move the needle very much. They have much smaller crews, so they're not going to employ a lot of people. And usually they just shoot for a few days or possibly just a day or maybe an hour. You never know. And again, that impacts the kind of revenue that's brought in. What's worse in this news is that the first 2 quarters of the year were really good because they were a blitz. And they basically were doing it because they needed to play catch up on film and television production. Well, because of all the barriers they had put in place with the protocols and everything else. They were drastically trying to catch up with things that needed to be done because they needed to go to air or they needed to be sent out onto film. So the real impact of this fall off happened in the third and fourth quarter, and it was dramatic. For film, in the end of the year, it fell off 16.2%. For television in the fourth quarter, it fell off 24.2%. So those are quite dramatic fall offs. Now, tax incentives were obviously being used, and they were being used pretty decently, but nowhere near what you would think. You would think everybody would want to take full advantage of these tax credits. Well, only about 44% of the available tax incentives were received in that quarter for film. The fourth quarter, they only took about 44% of what was available. And for television, it was even lower. It only took about 9%. Now let's look at what's being shot overall, or more correctly, at what's not being shot, or where things are being shot. TV dramas are down. They're not shooting a lot of those. In fact, they're down 10%. TV comedies are down about 35%. And if you're looking for new shows, right, you have to have a pilot season. Yeah, it doesn't look good. TV pilots actually fell dramatically by over 90%. Now, mind you, this is for everything. This isn't just linear television as much as somebody would like to say it is. It's also for streaming, because streaming still uses all these facilities and takes advantage of all of these things. And if your TV pilots are down 90%, you're not getting a lot of new shows. Once again, commercials were really telling the tale of the economy that we're living in now. They knew it was coming. I'm going to keep saying that. Everybody knew this was coming. I've been talking about it. You probably knew. Commercial shoots were down overall 33.7%. They fell off a third to shoot if they weren't in California. Obviously, I give you a hint. You probably already know because we talked about it a few days ago on the 6 Minute Daily, but the state just raised their tax incentives to $1.3 billion. And that's right, culture rights. Everybody headed to the land of the peach. That's right, they went to Georgia. And honestly, I don't think anybody can blame them. Cost of living is lower. Everybody that's in the crew is going to be happier. They basically are building little cities around these studio areas that, you know, people can walk to and from work and everything and be right there where the studio is and right there where the food is and right there where the shopping is. It's a pretty good way of doing things. And I guess it kind of brings me to the end of this, other than to ask, what do you think? Is Los Angeles just too expensive to shoot in now? I think it is. I think it's been too expensive to shoot in for a long time. I think the reason that it was incentivized was to try to keep the production close to Hollywood. Is it possible it's too dangerous to shoot in LA? Well, I think that's a contributing factor as well. And although I guess crime is up in Atlanta, not as much as LA. And you don't have quite the problem that you do on the streets in Los Angeles, and you're not constantly trying to clear the areas just so you can get a shot in. It's a different conversation, but it is what it is. Another question, I guess, that you would have to ask here is, will we see a bigger shift next year? Will more money leave California and go to other states? Because again, it's not just Georgia. You got Florida, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. It seems like a lot of the southern states are soaking up a lot of business here, including Tennessee. And I guess finally, will streaming service content cutbacks do even more to impact Los Angeles's woes? I think they will. You're seeing everybody cut back on their content creation. And what's not going north is headed east. And that's not good for Los Angeles or California as a whole when it comes to these productions. What do you think? Give me your thoughts down below. Hopefully we can have a conversation about this one. In closing, I'm just going to say be sure to support other independent creators. We've got a lot of them doing some great work. VR, Valiant Renegade's been doing incredible stuff. WDW Pro's got his channel rocking now. Congratulations to him. The Shagsworth is growing like a weed. I'm so happy for that guy. Sporka News Podcast is up over 5K again. And I say again because he got batted around pretty good. Not bad for a demonetized channel. And gosh, so many more folks growing. Of course, we've got, the Puppet People. We got Snowdub and Floral. Both channels are fantastic. So if you're interested in any of those types of creators, check them out regularly. Make sure you're still subscribed to them. If you think you are, double check, because like I said, there's some goofy stuff going on. And with that, Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye. And don't forget to check out my Rumble at rumble.com/CultureCasino.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.